Hey everyone, Graham here from therecordingrevolution.com, and I'm doing a quick little series on the blog called Confessions of an Engineer. So I want to confess stupid stuff I've done in the studio because I do a lot of dumb stuff. I don't know what I'm doing all the time. I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I'm not that amazing. I've already talked about how I recorded an entire album's worth of drums without ever adjusting any mic placement, without ever even listening back to the drum tracks themselves. How dumb is that? So today I want to share a confession about mixing a record. So there was a time when I used to mix albums, and then I heard some great advice from wise engineers that I should reference other tracks, professional tracks. So I would mix my album or mix a song and it would start to sound good, and then I would bring in a professional track of a band that I know is a great mix, that I revere, that's been around for a long time, and I would listen to it next to my mix and I would say, okay, here's my mix, here's the reference, and I would go, dang. My mix sounds way better than that pro mix. Way better. And I would be so pumped up, so confident that all of a sudden I'm like a better mixing engineer than the top guys in the world. Then I would take my mix out to the car, or to the stereo, or to my iPod, or share it with a friend, or take it anywhere other than the room I mixed it in, and realize something. My mix sounds horrible. The bottom end's messed up, the top end's messed up, the mid-range is weird, the vocal sticks out, the snare drum sounds really bizarre. It didn't sound anything like my mix that I was hearing in my room. And something else peculiar, the pro mix that I referenced that sounded so much worse than my mix sounds awesome everywhere else. So how could my mix, which sounds far superior to the pro mix in my room, fall apart everywhere else in the world, and the pro mix, which sounded so much inferior to my mix in my room, sound consistent and awesome everywhere else? I wonder if maybe it was my room that was jacking up what I was hearing. And that's one of the dumbest things I've done, is forget the whole point, the entire point of a reference track, especially for the home studio person. The reference track doesn't tell you how good your mix is versus another mix. The reference track actually shows you the flaws and the imperfections in your listening environment. Could be from your monitors, could be from the walls in your room, could be the shape of the room. Doesn't really matter. There's a million factors that make your room sound bizarre and weird, which happens. We're in a home studio, so don't cry about it. You're not gonna have a perfect room. But the pro mix tells you what's wrong with your room. So that was my mistake. For the longest time, I misused the point of reference tracks. I would just use them to make myself feel better because I, of course, would mix my song to sound awesome in the room. If the room has too much low end, then of course I'm gonna mix my song to sound perfect with all that extra low end so that I don't mix too much low end in my mix. So you can easily make a mix sound great in any room because you know what a good mix sounds like. But if you don't take into account how jacked up your room is, then you're gonna have a great sounding mix in your room, and that's the only place that anyone can ever listen to your mix is in that room. And that's kind of pointless, right? Confession from Graham, I had no idea how to use reference tracks, and I have fooled myself into thinking that my mixes are better than a pro mix, which is not true. If you have any confessions, share them on the video, share them on the blog post. I got more of these coming on the website. Again, not all of them are videos, but I wanted to share some of them with you just to remind you that I'm just a home studio guy. I'm not special. If you don't like my mixing, then you already know I'm not special. If you like what I'm doing, don't think I'm that great. I've made a lot of mistakes, and I continue to do so. I got some more confessions for you coming up. Have a great week. Make some great music. Talk to you later.